Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Now, if you're getting into cybersecurity, you're going to be hearing the word SIEM constantly, and that is Security Information and Event Management. You're going to see it in job descriptions, interviews, and in the SOC environment every single day, and that's the SOC stands for the Security Operations Center. The problem is most explanation actually make this word more complicated than it needs to be. In today's video, I will be breaking down what SIEM is actually, what it's used for, how it works, and also I will be comparing the three most popular SIEM, which is Splunk, QRadar, and Microsoft Sentinel from a perspective of someone that uses these tools every day. What is SIEM? Like I mentioned earlier, SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. Hold on, I know that sounds like a mouthful, but let me explain that simply with an example. Think of SIEM like your security camera system for your IT entire environment. Every device in your organization, like your laptop, server, network, firewall, and the cloud application, are constantly generating logs. Logs are basically digital footprints. Every log, every file accessed, and every network connections are constantly being recorded. Now, the SIEM collect all these logs from different sources and then brings them into one place. Then analyze them and look for suspicious patterns, and then fires an alert when something goes wrong. What a SIEM actually does. The SIEM practically do four things in the system. First, it collects logs across multiple log sources in an entire environment. Next, it saves those logs so they could be searched later. Next, it correlates events. What I mean by that is it connects dots across multiple log sources and try to spot patterns that may be missed by humans. Then it generates alerts if those patterns actually match a known threat. As a SOC analyst, the SIEM is the first place I go to when an alert has been triggered. Moving forward, let's talk about how SIEM actually works in a real security operations center environment. If you're already in the field or you're starting to go into SOC roles, this is for you. I want to describe the log sources that SIEM actually collects from. SIEM is pulling logs from everywhere, like the Windows event logs from endpoint, the firewall logs showing network traffic, the Active Directory logs that is tracking both the logins and the privilege changes, the cloud logins from either AWS or Azure, the alert logs from IPS and IDS. IPS stands for Intrusion Prevention System, while IDS stands for Intrusion Detection System, and last but not the least, the email security platform. And all of it is feeding into one central platform. Now, this is what makes SIEM a very powerful tool, because no other tools see the whole picture like SIEM does. The magic about SIEM is the correlation rules. This is practically the condition that states that if this happens or that happens within a certain time frame, an alert should be fired. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's 5 failed logins from a particular account, followed by a successful login 10 minutes later from a different IP or a different location. An alert should be fired. Now, one alert alone means nothing, but it's the correlation of those alerts that tells a different story. This is a section that early career analysts are going to love because I'm going to be comparing Microsoft Sentinel, Splunk, and QRadar. Stay with me. I'll be starting with Splunk. Now, Splunk is probably one of the most popular SIEM tools out there. It has its own search language, which is SPL, that is the Splunk processing language. And that makes it a very powerful tool once you learn it. It's extremely flexible. It has a massive community. It is in a majority of the enterprise or SOC job description. Now, the downsides. The downsides is it is expensive, right? And the learning curve of the Splunk processing language can be steeped in the beginning, right? But once you learn Splunk, or you have Splunk in your resume, trust me, you're standing out. Next, Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel is cloud native and it lives entirely inside Azure. If an organization is already using Microsoft 365 or Azure, then Sentinel integrates beautifully because it's already inside the same ecosystem. So, and it also has its own query language, which is the KQL, that is Coastal Query Language. It's actually very intuitive once you get a hang of it. I would say Sentinel is growing rapidly and extremely fast in the industry right now, especially because a lot of companies are moving towards cloud. Last but not the least, IBM QRadar. QRadar has been around for a very long time, and it's actually very common within large enterprise like banks, the government, and healthcare system. It has a very strong built-in correlation and offense management. It causes on alert offenses, which makes it very unique. And if you get a hang of QRadar or no QRadar, it tells an employer that you could handle matured enterprise environment. Let me tie all this to a real scenario. I was working a shift and a SIEM alert fired for a suspicious authentication activity. The alert alone only showed the failed login, but because the SIEM was correlating logs from multiple sources, like the Active Directory, the endpoint telemetry, and the firewall logs, I was able to see the full picture. The same account had several failed logins from a particular IP, but minutes later, it shows a successful login from a completely different country. And it started accessing files it has never touched before. Now, none of these events alone would have raised a flag, but the SIEM was able to connect all this log and then it turns into an incident. And that is why the SIEM is very powerful, because no tool on its own can see as much as the SIEM can see collectively. Thank you all for staying with me to the end. Now, this is just the SIEM broken down to the ground. What it is, how it works, what it's used for, and I successfully compared both the Microsoft Sentinel, the Splunk, and the IBM QRadar. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe and then comment EDR or CrowdStrike because I'm going to be going deeper into them next week. Thank you very much.